let's talk about international students. I have good news for everyone, for all students, but I have specific news for students from some particular countries. I have news for students from Thailand, students from Nepal, as usual, students from Pakistan, students from India, and this time I have some news for students from Ghana, Nigeria, and Egypt. Hey beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Business Connect. My name is Roy. If you're watching me for the first time, I live here in Shanghai, China, and I do videos about my experiences and my life in China. So if you've been watching me, you must have noticed, or you will notice immediately, that I'm not where I used to do my videos. You can see the environment is very different. My t-shirt, I'm not having it. That's because I'm not at home. I'm in a quarantine hotel right now. Yeah, I'm in a quarantine hotel because something happened in my apartment during the mass testing and my batch, because this time they were doing 5 people in the same test tube. So it's like one person in my group of 5 was positive, and so everyone was taken to a quarantine hotel. So right now I'm in a quarantine hotel recording this video. You don't have to worry because my first test was good, and immediately after they did that, I did my personal test and it was okay. They did another test and it was okay, but they still said I have to stay in a hotel for 3 days, and they're going to do a test every day for 3 days to confirm who was positive amongst the 5 people. But it's still an experience that I'm going to share with you guys in a complete video. So I'm actually recording the complete experience from home to when they took us to the hotel, what's happening in the hotel, and so on. So I'm going to be posting a complete video to talk about this experience to you guys. But that notwithstanding, today I want to share with you guys some news about the travel situation to China. We'll talk about visa situations, quarantine situations, and we'll talk about the situation of international students. But before I continue, if you're new to the channel, please do me a favor to like the video and let me know where you're watching me from, and let me know if you have any comments in the comment section below. Share the video also with someone, and if you're not yet my subscriber, please do me a favor to hit that subscription button and join us on the channel. So let's start with the situation of the visa situation in China. The past week have seen a lot of changes as far as visa situations is concerned, and if you're close to my channel, you would have seen that I've been posting a lot of information about recent news about travel situations in China. So right now, Chinese nationals or families of Chinese nationals who are out of China, their spouses, their children, and their immediate families can now apply for visas to China. This is an official information that I already posted this on my timeline. So a lot of people are asking me, like, what about the situation of family reunion? Now family reunion visas are possible, and also employment visas. Those who have employment visas can now apply also for visas. I also posted this on my community timeline, but I'm going to also post a link to this article at the description. So if you want details of how to get a visa if you have an employment visa, I'm going to post the link at the description box so that you can know exactly which country is demanding for what documents before you can get a visa. But for the meantime, visas for tourism, medical purposes, and other private businesses are still suspended, and especially international students, which I'll be talking about in details in the next part of this video. So if you're enjoying the video so far, do me that favor. For the YouTube algorithm, hit that like button, share the video with someone, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscription button so that when I do videos like this, you will be notified. Now let's talk about international students. I have good news for everyone, for all students, but I have specific news for students from some particular countries. I have news for students from Thailand, students from Nepal, as usual, students from Pakistan, students from India, and this time I have some news for students from Ghana, Nigeria, and Egypt. Let's start with Pakistan. I talked a lot about students from Pakistan. You know, they've been fighting a lot to come to China, but this time they were given the opportunity, but something happened. I don't know if the course is on the side of the students or on the side of the officials, because the students were given the chance to book a chartered flight. Some students were able to pay their flights, and some students were not able to pay their flight, so the chartered flight was cancelled. Now the government has given them an opportunity for a commercial flight, and the students are saying we're not ready to pay a commercial flight. So now the situation is between a chartered flight and a commercial flight. Students are not ready for a commercial flight. But the irony of this is students from other countries are waiting even for the commercial flight and they're not saying. But students from Pakistan have the opportunity to pay a commercial flight and they're saying they don't want a commercial flight. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And even unfortunately for them, the first flight that was approved from Islamabad to Xi'an in China, I think a few days ago, had about 6 people, according to news, that were tested positive. I don't know if the flight from Pakistan to China will be suspended or it's going to continue. So if you have the opportunity to travel to China, please don't mess it up. So right now, the students from Pakistan are requesting for another demonstration. I think it's today 14th or something. They're requesting for another demonstration to tell the government that they're not ready for a commercial flight. All they want is a chartered flight. Students from India continue their own demonstration, requesting the government for a chartered flight. We don't know what has happened in the situation of India, but recent information that I shared on my timeline says that the ambassador has reassured students from India that in the days ahead, students will be able to receive news from them. There was also news about students returning from Indonesia. So if you're watching me from Indonesia, you can also check this in the website of the Chinese embassy in Indonesia. I also posted this on my community timeline. If you have not watched this news or if you have not seen this, check my community timeline and you're going to see the article that I posted on my community timeline. There was also news about CAC students from the United States. The embassy assured them that all CAC students from the United States are going to return to China before September. Then talking about PU letters, the Chinese authorities have also made it clear that there are some countries that don't need a PU letter to apply for visas to China. I also posted that on my community timeline, and if you didn't watch that, I'm going to also leave a link to that article in the description. You can see the list of countries that from now henceforth, the PU letter was one of the most difficult documents that people were finding difficult to get, but now a list of so many countries now, you don't need a PU letter to apply for a work visa to China. Then there is also this news from Thailand that I also posted on my community timeline. If you're watching me from Thailand and if you can confirm this news, please let me know that students from Thailand were accepted or were allowed to apply for visas to China. Please, I really need confirmation from this news because there are a lot of outlets, there are a lot of media outlets now that are talking about this issue and that are sharing news about this. So I'm doubting this. I always tell you guys that if I'm doubting information, I always like to find out from you guys if you've heard about the same information and if you think it's true. So if there is anyone out there from Thailand who can confirm that students from Thailand have been approved to apply for Chinese visas, please let us know in the comments section. And this one from Egypt was about the opening of Chinese visa centers. Yeah, this doesn't concern students directly, but it's good news already. Because right now, people from Egypt who want to apply for work visas, for family reunion, now the Chinese visa centers in Egypt are now open. Before it was even difficult to get information because the visa centers were not even open. So right now, the visa centers in Egypt are now open. So if you're watching me from Egypt, you can now contact the visa centers in Egypt to get more information. Even if they're not receiving student visas, but just the fact that they're open, they'll be able to give you information about when they think students can start applying for visas. This is, I think, some good news as well. Then, talking about students from Ghana and Nigeria, these are a few students who have been asking me a lot about what about Nigeria, what about Ghana. I see students from Ghana doing a lot, having organizations, having campaigns on Twitter and so on. That's good. I'm going to share some information about them. Also, they even opened a Google form on the internet asking students to give their information because they're also fighting for their return and also trying to see if they can get maybe a chartered flight from their government and so on. Students from Nigeria, you can also do the same. If you can gather yourself, form a group on Twitter, try to tweet your officials, try to remind them and try to negotiate if they can fight for your return and if they can even grant you a chartered flight, because one thing, students might be granted the return to China, but if not a chartered flight, it's going to be difficult to pay the amount for commercial flights. So once you're fighting for your return, also be looking at the possibilities of a chartered flight. And this is not only for students from Nigeria or Ghana. This is for students from all over the world, students from different countries. Don't forget about chartered flights. Once you're requesting your return to China, also try to be following up with the officials of your countries to see if you can get a chartered flight. Then also recently, I also have this information for students from Nepal, confirming that students from Nepal can now start applying for visas to China. I'm going to leave a complete link to this article at the description box. So if you're watching me from Nepal and you can confirm this information, please let us know in the comment section below. And if you've actually applied and you have any information to share with other students, you can write me through my email, or you can leave a comment at my comment section, so that other students can be reassured that at least students from other countries have started returning. It means that by September, a lot of students will be able to return to their universities in China. And also, there is also information for students from several European countries. Several of them have been writing their embassies, and they've received really promising emails from several European countries about their return to China. Oh, you can hear some noise outside because they are disinfecting the hotel around. So I hope the noise doesn't disturb the video. So that's to tell you that students from different countries, you don't have to just wait. You see, students from other countries, they keep fighting, they keep writing letters to the embassies. At least, even if they don't tell you that you can return this day, they'll keep assuring you, or they'll keep giving you at least some assurance that by this date, we hope that students will have some information about their return. So guys, that's the information I decided to share with you guys while I'm still here in this quarantine hotel. I'm sure I'll be leaving here maybe by tomorrow, and I'm going to do I'm trying to document the whole process of what happened. So I'll be bringing up an exclusive video about what happened, so that you guys should understand exactly what's happening in China. I hope you liked the video, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please don't go without subscribing, so that when I bring videos, you will be notified. Thank you for watching this far. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out and bye-bye.
I just got off the phone with the girl who loves you too. Said you're working on yourself. Is she helping with that too? You gave her the time of day. You told her that you would stay. You made me feel the same way. What goes around comes around, that's what I always